Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you showing up today. We're on day 4. How many hit the button and show me how many of you liked yesterday's topic and how was the message? Or or talk on the chat and tell me your thoughts. Lot of powerful information that we're giving you guys, and if you'll take it to heart, and if you'll actually put this to work for you, if you guys will actually do the worksheets and actually put this into your lifestyle, man, lots of power here, lots and lots of power. So today, as you can see, we're talking about habits, and I'm solo today. Aaron's actually on a plane, flying out of town, but I got this. So let's just dive right in, guys, and let's talk about habits. Show of hand, how many of you guys kind of struggle with some bad habits? I think we all do, but it can definitely be, yes, it can definitely be, especially simple little habits like being productive, or working on, they say that it's the 20% that gets things done, not the 80%. So bottom line is, and hopefully after today, you guys will understand the core of why you have these habits, and more importantly, how you can actually put into action a system that will help you change your bad habits to good habits. That's the main thing, and also start good habits moving forward. So understand, guys, that just like anything, it takes a little bit of time, obviously, to be able to create good habits and also move to the next level of changing your bad habits into the good habits. So let's talk about this. I love this scenario. Again, show of hands, how many of you guys, when the alarm goes off in the morning, hit the snooze button? I'm going to pause for a minute because I want to know if you do this or not. Yep. How many of you hit the snooze button more than once? Okay, guys, think about this. By hitting the snooze button first thing in the morning when that alarm goes off, that's your first win of the day, that you have the opportunity to create that win of your day and start your day off on a positive. And guess what? Every time you hit the snooze button, you're losing that win. You are absolutely losing that win. So understand, guys, it's little teeny tiny things like that make the biggest difference in how your day's going to go and how you function within that day. Now, when that alarm goes off, and I've just trained myself, when my alarm goes off, I hit the off button and I put my feet on the floor. It's that simple. I mean, literally every single time my alarm goes off, I'm up and moving. Hitting that snooze button disrupts your sleep cycle. Think about this. How many of you guys out there, when you hit that snooze button, you go into a really deep sleep right after that, and it just seems like seconds, and then it's going off again? The reason it's doing that, guys, is number one, that's that REM sleep that you're not helping yourself. You want that REM sleep in the middle of the night, not when you're only going to get it for the next 10 or 15 minutes. Actually hitting your snooze button, this has all been proven, scientifically proven, guys, that it reduces your productivity. Seriously. Gabe, I appreciate you being honest and saying that you struggle with this, and also having that night routine, which we're going to talk about. It also affects your mental clarity. Every time or any time that I've actually hit a snooze button and I come out of it, it's almost like you have brain fog, like your morning doesn't get started on the right foot. Also, it puts you in a rush. It puts you to where you're stressed out. Your stress levels go up in the morning because because you're not where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be, or you're running behind, or you're running right on the tick. And again, all of these things are losses right straight out of the gate because of one simple, teeny tiny little thing. Are you starting to see that snowball effect, and how have one little thing like hitting a snooze button creates this massive tidal wave of negative in your life right out of the gate, first thing in the morning? Bottom line is, be conscious, guys. And I challenge every single one of you, if you're pillow huggers, when that alarm goes off, no more snooze button. Matter of fact, start putting your alarm clock on the other side of the room that you have to get out of bed and go and hit the button on it, and then stay out of bed. Don't go crawl back in bed. That doesn't work. So that's my challenge to all of you. I really want you to take this on, and it's a big part of creating the good habits that you need, and getting rid of the bad ones. Hitting the snooze button is definitely, in my opinion, bad habit. And quite frankly, a lot of people do it. Let's talk about understanding habits, guys. They're behaviors that are triggered by a specific cue. What we mean by a cue is, let me give you an example. Let's say that every afternoon at 3 o'clock, you have a craving for sweets. And what do you normally do when you have that craving? You make sure that you have something on your desk or something there that's sweet, that you can fix that craving, right? That is a cue. That's where all of your habits all start from, is through that repetition of that cue coming up and hitting every single time, and you fixing that cue. If you use the cues to form your positive habits, it's such a powerful thing. So obviously you need to start concentrating. You need to start figuring out what those cues are on your bad habits that you can put a stop to it and change that habit. You know, when 3 o'clock rolls around and you get that, I want some sweets, have some mangoes, or have something on your desk that you can curb that habit. It's not a bad habit. You're turning it into a good habit. Everybody feeling me on there, and everybody understanding how habits are actually formed? It's repetition. A cue hits repetition. So starting good habits. The first thing you have to do when you're starting a good habit is you have to clearly define what it is you want to achieve. And the best part is, we're going over goals tomorrow. And I know I keep telling you, I can't wait to show you guys this goal setting system that we put together. The other big thing is to start small, which we're going to talk again a lot about tomorrow. Set the cues. You got to use these triggers to remind you to perform and hit that new habit. That's the key, is paying attention to the cues. You know, it gives an example here of placing your workout clothes by your bed. So when you roll out of bed first thing in the morning, if one of your goals is to go to the gym, your stuff's sitting right there. It's your cue. You put your stuff on, you drink a big glass of water, and you go to the gym. If you do that repetitiously, you're going to create an amazing habit. You got to reward yourself, because once the cue hits, then you got to put something in place of that cue, and then there's the reward. Because understand this, guys, and we're going to talk a little more about this. When you give yourself that reward, it releases dopamine, and that's what gives you that pleasure that you want to continue doing whatever that is, good or bad. It doesn't matter. And you got to track it. You got to track your progress so you have something to mark it with. You know that you're moving forward. How do you stop bad habits, guys? Well, let's talk about it. I kind of said you got to identify what those triggers are, what those cues are that's causing you to initiate that bad habit. Gabe said, I always lay my outfit out for the gym. I guess you guys can all read that. the morning or the night before, feel stressed when it's not out. Good, good, good. See, it's simple things, guys. How easy is that, Gabe? How simple is that simple process of just putting your clothes out so that you don't procrastinate the next morning? Oh man, I'm kind of tired. I don't want to go to the gym. So first key is to identify the triggers that are starting those bad habits, and then you have to replace with a positive action, guys. You got to substitute that bad habit with a healthier alternative. I kind of gave you the example of the sweets, and then having healthy stuff sitting on your desk that it's okay, you can eat it, but it's not doing that sweet every time. You know, like I love ice cream, and I'm telling you, every night it triggers and I want ice cream. Sometimes I give in. A lot of times I'll go eat a mango. That's why I said it, because it's still a bit sweet and it cuts that craving, and it's healthy for me. It's just a dried mango. You have to use behavioral techniques like strategies like mindfulness and becoming aware of the habit and its negative effect on you. Thank God I was never a smoker, but they say, you know, obviously drugs and smoking are some of the hardest habits to break. And it's because you just get into that rhythm. And every time you're feeling a little bit stressed, every time, and I've never been a smoker, so I'm just talking from what I've been told, but it just seems like that it's such a hard thing because you're doing it, I don't know how many times every day. And every time you get a little stressed or a little hungry or whatever, it triggers it. And then you do it, you smoke the cigarette, and then that dopamine releases, and that's your reward. And you're just like, okay, yes, but not good. So same thing with any bad habit, guys. You know, seeking support is a big thing. You know, if your habit is really bad and it's something that you're having a hard time kicking, then seek support. You know, seek out, do your homework, and put yourself in a position where you can win. That's what it's all about. Don't just keep ignoring it. And then, of course, the last is you got to avoid that temptation. Don't put yourself in the situation that's gonna trigger what it is that's giving you the urge to do that bad habit. You know, here's some examples. The good habit: exercising regularly by setting a daily alarm and rewarding yourself with your favorite smoothie afterwards. Gabe, do you do that? Do you fix yourself a smoothie or have something? Because I know you're food motivated, kid. Bad habits: reducing screen time. You know, watching TV and wasting your time watching TV by reading a book, reading something positive that's going to actually add value to your life and not just get you to zone out. You know, you got to understand, guys, the psychology behind habits. It's the cue, routine, and reward loop. It cues, you get in that routine, and then you get that reward because of that dopamine. And you have to pay attention. You have to let yourself know that when it starts to cue, that's the point where you need to cut it off. Yes, it can be, Gabe, screen time. So stopping bad habits, you got to recognize those cues. You got to replace it with positive actions. You got to use behavioral techniques like mindfulness, you know, self-talk. We talked about that yesterday. Maybe having a coach that somebody is your life coach, or somebody that can help you power through and get you to at least to the other side of it, where you're held accountable by somebody that you know and love and like, that they want to help you, and by just reaching out to them, they can, so to say, talk you off the ledge. I think it's a perfect way to do it because, again, it makes you hold yourself accountable. We already talked about seeking support. Okay, guys, if you did download the worksheet, and some of you guys that are already on the team, I know you're already doing this, but one of the things that we teach the guys here on our team is good habits. And one of a really good habit to get into is writing down your affirmations and what you're grateful for. And we have our team write it down 25 times every single day. Now, guys, your affirmation, what I like to do is I like to pick an affirmation that I'm going to write that affirmation out 25 times every day for 30 days. They say, science says that after, I think it's like 14 or 21 days, it becomes a habit, or it starts the process of a habit. I know the mornings that I don't do this, it really bugs me because I love doing this, and I'll shoot straight with you guys. It was a little bit hard for me to start this process, doing these affirmations and gratitudes. And now it's such a big part of my life that, like I said, when I don't do it, it bugs me big time. So again, I challenge each and every one of you, those of you that are on the team, you know, we're going to hold you accountable to this, but pick your affirmations and make your affirmations like they've already happened. I enjoy reaching out to my VIP 50 every single day. I enjoy how well I look because I've stopped putting so many calories in my body. I enjoy working with the guys on my team, helping them grow and become better agents. Stuff like that, where it's first person, it's direct, and you've already achieved it. And there's a science behind that. Then on the backside, these are some fun things that you can do on a regular basis, whether it's daily or even weekly, guys. And that's, you know, what would have made today great. Amazing things that happen to you. How could have you made today better? These are all just positive, awesome things. It comes kind of back to that self-talk where you're just checking in with yourself and you're making sure that you're on track. That's what this is all about. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this cue, routine, reward loop. The cue, that's the trigger that initiates the behavior, and it can be anything from a specific time of day, like I already gave you the example. It can be an emotional state. It could be a location or an action. Whatever it is, the only way that you're going to recognize that cue is if you start paying attention. And you know, we've talked a lot about not just coasting through life with your blinders on. This is a big one here, guys, is paying attention to those things that are triggering you to start the process of that bad habit or good habit. Because if you're recognizing the good habit, the good habits, it's going to help you to form new good habits. Then there's the routine, which is your behavior or the action that you're actually performing based on that cue. And then, I mean, that can be physical, it can be mental, it can be an emotional response. Doesn't matter, but that is the action. And then, of course, the reward is performing that routine. And like I said, that's what fills or fulfills your cravings. That's what releases the dopamine. That's what starts that habit down that road. Old habit, cue, you're feeling bored in the evening. Routine, you watch TV for hours. Reward, entertainment and distraction. How about a new habit? You're feeling bored in the evening. So you pull out a book or you start doing a hobby. You get a hobby that is a progressively moving you forward hobby. And your reward is the enjoyment and the engagement into that hobby. You know, reading is a big thing. We read every single day here as a team. Feeding your brain. There's nothing better than feeding your brain. It's way better than watching TV, guys. So I've already kind of went into enough about the cue and how it works. You know, here's another one. I'll give you another example. The cue. You feel stressed after a long day at work, so you eat a piece of chocolate cake and you experience a sense of relief and pleasure from the chocolate, which reduces your stress. If you'd identified that cue of, okay, I'm stressed, so now I know I'm stressed and I don't want to eat that chocolate cake. So what can I put in place of that that's not going to harm me, that's not going to put pounds on me, that's not going to cause my diet to go sideways? it's got to be important to you guys. It's got to be, again, you've got to have a system and a plan in place, or none of this will happen. You know, people just coast through life and don't pay attention to these things, or they just say, I've been doing it for so long, I can't, you know, and we talked about that yesterday, you know, having that fixed mindset that, oh, I've been doing this for so long, there's no way I can stop doing this. You know, I've heard people that smoke, I use that for an example, say that. It's just, I've been doing it so long, I've already done the harm to my body. But we all know that if you stop, your body's going to start healing itself. Um, the big thing though is the reward. You got to make sure that you're paying attention to that reward and making that reward good, making it a good experience. Everybody got a little bit better feeling now about how habits start and bad habits get formed, or good habits. So let's all be conscious. Let's all take those bad habits that aren't helping us. They're not serving us. They're not helping us progress through our life in a positive way. And let's change them. Let's change them to stuff that's going to help you. Now, I'm going to talk now about mind and mindset, and your conscious mind, your non-conscious mind, and your creative non-conscious mind. So let's look at some examples here, guys. A conscious mind, definition is the part of your mind that is aware and actively thinking. That's you're awake. You're aware, you're physically actually thinking it. It's, you know, processes information, you're making decisions, you're solving problems. That is your conscious mind. You know, deliberately, it's given an example here, deliberately choosing what it is you want to eat for dinner. That is a conscious thought that you come out. Now, a non-conscious mind is the part of your mind that handles automatic processes without a conscious thought. You know, I find myself, there's different routines that I get into, and different things where my non-conscious mind is, like driving. Driving is non-conscious. Now, there's times when you're driving where you go from a non-conscious mind and it flips back over to a conscious mind because you have to pay attention. But how many of you have ever been in your car and driving home, and you're stressed or you're tired or you're just checked out and you don't remember the drive home at all, but you did it? You didn't kill yourself or anybody else. You actually got where you wanted to go, right? That is a non-conscious thing that you've just learned that is helping you get home on a regular basis. This happens all the time. I know how many, you know, I think too that a lot of, you know, based on the habits, you know, I use the example of cigarettes, but it's also, that's your non-conscious. That's just, you know, I need it. I want it. I want it right now. You got to change that to a conscious thought, figure out that cue, and that's what's going to help you offset it and change it. You know, the function of it is you're managing habits, routines, and automatic responses. And an example, I just said, are automatically driving a familiar route without a conscious thought. I know that my wife has told me she's done that. I'm a pretty intense person, so when I'm driving, I'm pretty aware of what's going around me. I talk about this in my meetings all the time. I like watching people when I'm driving because it just blows my mind how many times I look out and you can just tell that somebody is just completely checked out driving their car. It's crazy. Get on a motorcycle and you'll really see it. So then you've got your creative non-conscious mind. Here's the power, guys, right here. The definition of that is the part of your mind that generates new ideas and solves problems creatively. So think about this. It helps you generate new ideas, and it helps you solve your problems. Did you know that while you're sleeping, your non-conscious brain is actually figuring out the entire world for you? Anybody aware of that? Do you know how powerful your non-conscious mind is? So the functions are, it innovates, it imagines, and it finds creative solutions. Yeah, Ben, I'm telling you, dude, and we've got an exercise here, and I seriously take this on, guys, try it, and I want some feedback from all of you about how this is going to work for you by triggering your non-conscious mind. So, and I do this all the time. I cannot tell you guys how many times I'm very creative, especially when I was creating this VIP 50. I can't tell you how many times I would wake up in the morning and something was troubling me big time, and my non-conscious mind just figured it out while I was sleeping, and I woke up and went, aha. How many of you have done that? How many of you have had something that's going on in your life, and you wake up in the morning and you're like, aha, I know how to fix this? Happens all the time. So now you guys understand the three different minds. The conscious mind is the active thought. It's our awareness. It allows you to deliberate decisions, your positive effect, your conscious mind, practicing mindfulness. All of that is your conscious mind. We're all in tune with our conscious mind. Then you got your non-conscious mind that's kind of operating in the background, and it's handling all your automatic stuff. Being on your computer, doing your job, like I said, driving home, just all of your routines. And then that creative non-conscious mind, that's the power. That's your power mind, is your creative non-conscious mind. So I want you guys to understand, and I want to go in a little deeper on this creative non-conscious mind. So it's the part of your brain and that generates, like we said, your new ideas. It helps you solve your problems. It's always in the background. It's always working. It's always constantly going. And do you understand? And now that you know about this, think about what you're feeding your unconscious mind right before you go to sleep. For most of us, it's probably television. And it's probably not the greatest. Raise a hand. I know that's a lot of times what I do. I love to go to bed watching TV. I don't know why. Here's why it's so important, guys. By tapping into that creative, non-conscious mind, you start to think outside of the box. You'll overcome challenges. You'll bring fresh perspectives. And I'm talking in your business life and your personal life. Like I said, I have used this and done this tool that we're going to give you guys over and over and over again, and without fail, my non-conscious mind figures it out. It's actually kind of creepy. It's kind of cool. So techniques to program your creative non-conscious mind. Of course, there's visuals. Spend 5 or 10 minutes every day visualizing your goals. Do you think that maybe this has something to do with your non-conscious mind? The affirmations and the gratitudes? Big time. You're programming your mind. And instead of being the victim, you're being the player. It's a big deal here. Mindfulness and relaxation. I know that Aaron is big on this, doing his yoga and his all his mind exercises. He's big on this and really focusing on things in your life at that particular point that you really want to fix, or you want to make sure that they're going down the right path. Journaling is a big one. I should do more journaling. I can tell you that. How many of you do write in a journal on a regular basis? Regular being at least a couple times a week. Anybody? Looks like we all need to start journaling. Let me tell you another positive side, that's just a side effect, guys, and maybe it's my age, maybe it's the point I'm at in my life, but journaling for me is leaving. Can you imagine if my kids, when I pass away, can find a whole library full of journals of me just writing stuff down, talking about my day, talking about my life, what's going on in my life? Do you know the power of that and how awesome that would be to have something like that when somebody you love passes away. So I know it's off on a whole different idea, but I'm just telling you guys, be conscious of that, because I am. Matter of fact, my daughter actually gave me a book that I'm supposed to write in it every day. I don't write in it every day, but I've been doing much better than I was before. And it's just a book full of questions, and it just triggers, and I just sit there and write it out. It's going to be so cool that my kids get to have that. So understand that journaling, powerful tool, because there's something about writing it down on a piece of paper. It just focuses in on your mind. Like, I don't listen to a whole lot of self-help books when I'm driving around in my car, because I want to write it down. I want to take notes that I can go back and reference on. And it just seems like if I just listen to it in my truck, that it just goes in one ear and right out the other, and I can't retain it. So understand that journaling is a big deal. Creative activities, guys, drawing, painting, playing an instrument, brainstorming sessions. If it's something at work that you're passionate about, like I was, I mean, I've been so focused on the VIP 50, and it's all positive. It's all good stuff moving forward. And then you got the incubation periods, working intensely on a problem like I have been doing, but taking a break from it to give your brain and to give your body a rest from that, and your non-conscious mind a chance to kind of process all that information and work it out. And then, of course, positive affirmations. Again, guys, there is nothing more powerful than you writing down your affirmations and putting that out into the universe. I've already told you that I'm a huge fan or a huge believer of whatever you put out there is what is going to come back to you. Firmly believe it. So how do you apply these techniques into your life so that you can start triggering your non-conscious to start doing positive things for you? Well, the very first one is setting very clear goals. And not only setting very clear goals, but breaking down those goals to where you're not looking at the big, huge mountain. You're just looking at that one little step that's right in front of you. And all you got to do is just focus on that and do that one little step. And then the next day or the next event, you do it again and again and again. And I know we say this all the time, guys, but it is absolutely so true. By the time you know it, you're going to wake up and look and go, holy cow, I accomplished it. And it's going to make you feel amazing. So, and again, we're talking a lot about goals tomorrow. You got to create positive routines. Whether they're daily, whether they're weekly, you got to incorporate those in. And I can tell you guys right now, the only way for you to have a routine and to positively have that is you have to have a system with a schedule. Because if you think that you're going to remember every single day with our busy lives and all the distractions that we have in our lives, you've got another thing coming, because it's not going to happen. How about tracking your progress? How are you going to know how well you're doing if you're not tracking yourself and the goals and all the specific things that you want? So again, that could come back to even your journaling. If you want to start journaling, the best way to track it is to write down in your journal how you did that day. You're going to know. Within our company, within our team, we actually have a daily schedule that we track with numbers or points. And then at the end of the week, whatever you did with your points shows you exactly where you're at. So you know if you need to step up in one area or not. And then we talked about this, I believe, yesterday, but feedback is one of the best. I want to tell you a little story. So I'm watching this webinar with Russell Brunson. He's the founder of ClickFunnels, which is a platform that we use for our VIP. And there was a guy, so when you're on there, they have a chat room like this where everybody's chatting. And I noticed this guy, something he said triggered me, because he designs the pages within the ClickFunnels and has been doing it for quite some time. So I reached out to him personally and I said, hey, I'm brand new to this ClickFunnels thing, and I'm kind of out here winging it. Would you be willing to take a look at what I've created and give me some feedback on it? And he said yes. So I sent him a link to all my pages. And yesterday, late afternoon, I got a message from him, and it just said, remember, you asked me to do this. So this guy, tell me how cool this is. This guy actually had a video that he shot. It was an 18-minute video. Now, this guy didn't, and who knows how much time he spent previous to that, because he was prepared to show me. And when the guy first got on the video and took the time to create this video, he let me know that he used to be in the real estate and the mortgage business. And he absolutely, he's like, all fairness to you, I hate real estate agents and mortgage brokers. I will not have them as a client. I will not. And he went on for like 2 minutes about how's that for a fixed mindset, by the way. But anyways, this guy was basically saying, I can't believe I did this for you because of who you are, but you asked me, so here it is. And then he went down and basically showed me every single place that I was lacking that I needed to fix. And I was so grateful to this guy for doing that. He has saved me so much time, because now I can just watch the video and focus on what I'm doing and fix it. Tell me that feedback isn't some of the most positive that you can absolutely have to help me go from point A to point B. That's what feedback is all about, guys, is having thick enough skin and being conscious enough that you can take the feedback, even feedback that's not so nice, and turn it into a positive. Very, very important. Then we go into reflecting. You got to reflect on your experiences. You got to go back over your experiences and just reflect, guys. And again, that comes back to our worksheet. Oh, that's weird. Where you can actually reflect on the day before. You can talk about what went on the day before. And by the end of the week, you've got this little roadmap that's talking to you and telling you about how you went from here to there. Tell me that doesn't have some power. You know, self-talk. We talk a lot about this, but if you're not doing self-talk and having these conversations with yourself, you're missing out, because there's nothing better than working with yourself to become even a better person every single day. Now, here's the good thing, guys. You ready to feed your non-conscious brains? Are you ready to try an exercise that's gonna show you how, while you're sleeping, you can solve your problems and help yourself progress like no other? So here it is. Every single night, right before you go to bed, you're gonna take out this worksheet. So print off a bunch of them, have them sitting there. And every single night, again, right before you go to sleep. So if you're like me and you watch TV, turn your freaking TV off, pull out this sheet, and just do it. It takes you less than 5 minutes. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. And you're going to sit and write down and say it out loud and visualize it. So watch what I'm doing here, guys. So you're writing it down, which we already talked about how writing it down, at least for me, helps kind of solidify it. Then you're actually saying it out loud. But even more importantly, you are visualizing that you already accomplished it. So let's talk about this. Let's say that one of the things I want to feed my non-conscious brain is that I want to contact 30 people a day. So I could sit there and write it down. I love when I call 30 people a day and I have all those conversations and how much it blah, 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 blah. And then I say it out loud, and then I mentally visualize that I have called my 30 people, and the conversations that I had and the positive that came out of it and the business that came out of it and how much it helped me personally coming out of it, that is powerful. And if you guys will do this right before you go to bed, there is nothing more powerful that we're teaching you that you can use than this thing right here. Then you got to remember, you got to track it. You got to have that self-talk. So then you need to talk to yourself and write down in the mornings, make it part of your routine, that of what you're clear on now and what you're accomplishing, and track it, guys. Watch and see what happens in your life if you'll just take this one little tiny thing and plug it into your life. A lot of power here. Everybody excited about that? Give me a woo-ha. And then lastly, guys, let's talk about how we treat our bodies. Hydration is such an important thing, and I'm not going to go real deep into this. We all know, thanks, Ariana. We all know that taking care of ourselves and feeding our bodies the proper nutrients that we need, good nutrients, not processed fats and sugars and all that crap, but actually really taking care of ourselves is such a major thing, especially for your brain. My wife has been after me since she's known me. She was actually telling me the other night that all the things that she used to not feed her children before I came into her life, which kind of made me feel bad, but hey, it's feedback and it's true, and I have to own it. So understand and just be conscious. Gabe, I know you are big time, and my hat's off to you, buddy, because you help your dad big time stay true and stay on that path. And I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely cool. But we all need to be very, very conscious and very informed on what we're putting into our bodies and what we're doing with our bodies. You know, I'm not a big gym guy. I've never been a big gym guy, but I do walk on a regular basis, you know, about 3 miles, and half of it's where I live is up a hill. I specifically do this route so I can really push myself up this hill. Those of you out there that are on the team and go do our team hikes, you notice that at the team hikes, it's not that I don't want to hang out with you, and it's not that I don't want to talk to you. Gabe, when you hung out with me the other day, you stayed up with me. I sat and talked to you, which I'm fine about. The reason I do what I do, guys, and I know maybe you've heard me say this, is if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability to where I can actually gain the most from whatever it is that I'm doing. That's my mind. That's how it's going. So when I'm on this hike and I'm getting ready to go on this hike, it's like, okay, I'm going to go as fast as I can up this hill, and I'm going to push myself. And it does. I mean, you guys have heard me. I'm out of breath. I'm sweating like a pig, but I motor up that hill, and that's what it's all about. So again, I challenge you that every single thing you do it to the best of your ability. No more half-ass, no more half speed. Do it the best you can do it, and watch what happens. Watch what changes in your life. I love Thomas Jefferson is smart. I mean, walking is very good. My doctor tells me it all the time. It's just getting the motion. It's just walking. I mean, it's still, maybe you're not burning as many calories, but a simple walk, a 2 mile, 3 mile walk on a regular basis, it's amazing. You know, yeah, I should probably start a new habit. Here's a good one for me. Everybody challenge me of maybe starting to go to the gym and actually, because I know that going to the gym is also an important part of being healthy and being the best you that you can absolutely be. So guys, habits don't have to stay habits. They can absolutely be changed. It just takes willpower and a system to change it, and being conscious of what you're doing. Feed that non-conscious brain, feed it big time. And I seriously want to hear from you guys on the changes that start to happen in your lives because you start feeding your non-conscious brain. Ariana said, it has to do with being at one with the ground and allowing your thoughts to process while your heart rate is slightly elevated. Love that. Love it. Okay, guys, so that is the message for the day. And I hope this gives you guys some seriously amazing changes in your lives. If there's any questions anybody has, if there's any comments, real quick, did anybody do their I am statement yet? Boo! Do your I am statement. You guys will love it. Yes. I will help you with that, Ariana. I can help you big time. Just call me and I will I'll give you some good ideas. As a matter of fact, text me what your six values are, and I'll write you one and send it to you. Sound like a good deal? And anybody else out there, Gabe, I did that for you. I didn't I, Gabe? And if I didn't, then all you got to do, text me your 6 values and I'll write your I am statement for you, or at least give you my experience with you and what I feel about your I am statement. Now, obviously I'm not you, so you need to rewrite it based upon how you are, but I'll give you some good ideas. All right, guys, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging in there. Again, we're so excited to finalize this challenge tomorrow. Tomorrow is goal setting and taking action and accountability, and I can't even wait. A lot of powerful stuff. It's kind of a long one, so we're going to use up the entire hour, I can guarantee it. And then tomorrow we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about the VIP 50 and the power of that VIP 50 and what we're doing. I mean, obviously we have a purpose for why we're doing this, and it all leads up to, we want to be able to teach that VIP 50 system to each and every one of you to help you not only in your personal lives, but to help you with your business. And like you said, Ariana, this time it's going to happen. So love you guys. I mean it. Have a fantastic afternoon. Thanks for hanging in there. And I will see you guys real soon. Peace.